My name is Tara Tucker. I am 40 years old. I am a child of God, a wife, a mother of three, and I have a cat named Sir Chestnut. I am a hairdresser, a licensed and professional. I'm also a writer. And during this journey, I have discovered that there's so much in me in the area of writing. So, to be continued. In September, I was taking a shower. For some reason, I started doing this. I don't do that often. I've done it in the past, but I'm not a regular self checker. So I paused because it didn't feel right. I just knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right. It felt wrong, and I got scared immediately. I had the mammogram, and then I had to get the ultrasound. From the ultrasound, these things kept coming up irregular. So from that, I had a biopsy. The biopsy is what was the tell. I remember the day very well because I was at work at the salon. It was December 8th, 2016. That day was significant for me because one of my clients is a PR lady, and she also was starting a new television show with her brother. She asked me to be her official hairstylist for the show, as well as develop a segment, Tara Talks Hair, which was, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So that day, a few hours later, I received a phone call from my doctor, and she asked if it was okay to talk on the phone with the results. I said yes, and she said, well, you were positive for invasive ductal carcinoma. I said, what is that? And she said, it's breast cancer. She said, it's a very common form of breast cancer. And then she continued talking about things, and I started writing what she was saying down, almost robotic. I'm writing it down, but I'm in shock, like, what? Like, how? What? I just couldn't wrap my head around it, but I'm listening to her. Um, so she gives me the information. She tells me about a cancer doctor that I can go see, and she had it set up for the following Tuesday. And it's crazy, the same doctor that she recommended was a doctor that I was looking at up online, and someone else had recommended. So I said, okay. So I went to see him. He was amazing anyway. But that day was weird. I got off the phone with her, and I had a client that was coming an hour later, and I said, okay, God, it's me and you. Let's do this. And that's what I said. And guess what? I waited, and I took care of my next client. I didn't leave. I straightened up the salon. I got ready for my next client. I did the service, laughed and joked, and went all cleaned up, closed up, went home, waited because I had to tell my husband. That was not easy. So yeah, we discussed that, and that was hard. It's a lot of tears. It was difficult because we were just like, what's about to happen? So that was December 8th, 2016. First day of chemo was the end of February 2017. I didn't know what to expect. I was I had I had feelings of, okay, let's do this, and what's about to happen. Like, let's get it over with, and what's about to happen. So I had both of those going on at the same time. Like, if I get it over with, I'll be at the end soon. So let's just get started. And then it's like, okay, I don't know what's about to happen with my body. Yeah. And then to walk in there, you go in the room to get chemo. Okay, so you have all these um, chairs that lean back, comfortable chairs, and all these different people in there. And it's like a depressing place. It's not a place that it don't feel good. The atmosphere is kind of sad. It's kind of depressing because everybody's hooked to the machines, and some people in different phases, and some people really, really sick. And you know what's crazy? I saw a lady in there. She was so sick, and I was like, wow. Now I'm in there. This is my first day, so I'm like, okay. And I'm in there, and she looked like she was barely holding on. Do you know I was that lady the next time I was there? Blew my mind. First day I went in there, I'm like looking around. I'm like, some of them look really jacked up. And I'm still okay. They do my port. I'm hooked up and I'm okay. But the second time, which was 2 weeks later, I went to get that chemo. I was barely holding on. They had me in a wheelchair. I was barely holding on. That's what blew my mind, how quickly it changed, how sick I was. I couldn't eat. I was vomiting. I was just really sick. And I looked like death sucking on a lemon. I looked like the lady that was barely holding on. Yeah. And I had to do that 8 times over a course of 4 months. Yeah. Yeah, 4 months. Now, after that medicine got in me, after the effects hit me and I was so sick, and fear did creep in because I had no control. I didn't know what was happening to my body. I had zero control. It was scary because I was crawling, like I could not function. So yeah, that was scary. Even though I know what God told me and I know he had me, in that moment, I didn't know anything. In that moment, all I knew was my situation. So in the moment that I'm crawling and sick and like, oh my God, am I going to live? That moment was very scary because I had that moment. I had that moment like, and then I hear in my head, you are going to die. So the enemy was messing with me too. I was at my weak point. I was a very weak point.